All right, here with head coach Sean Nahas ahead of the Courage trip to Orlando this weekend. Coach, coming off the Challenge Cup victory. Again, congratulations on that. But no real time to celebrate. Get right back to work for an NWSL game coming up this week. Just kind of take us through the mindset of the turnaround going from celebrating a cup to now getting right back to work in the thick of a playoff, Jace.
Me personally, I moved on Sunday morning. Players obviously had a few days off just to sort of decompress after a heavy week. So now it's just trying to get back into the swing of things and get comfortable again and get our legs underneath us. But we'll take the positives from the success and try and build off of it. Obviously, it's at this stage, the timing and the quick turnaround and traveling. Going into an international break, it can get a little bit hairy. So we're just going to hopefully build off the momentum and see where it takes us in this final 4-game stretch.
Yeah.
Sean, going into the year, you guys had your expectations, which might not have matched people on the outside, and it's been really impressive what you've done. But how do you feel about where you are as a team now entering this final stretch and the goals you have?
Yeah, I feel good. You're always going to deal with some things that are out of your control. When you talk about expectations, I think the only expectations that we've set is making sure that we get better every single day and not putting too much stock in things that we can and can't control. We have to stay focused, and we can't go like this. We have to be sort of in the same line. And even when we lost, I think we lost 4 games early in the season. If you look at how many losses we've had since, it hasn't been many. So that's a credit to the players and the work that they've put in. But as you see, it hasn't gotten us anywhere in terms of clinching anything or anything like that. If we clinch a playoff spot, wonderful. If we don't, it doesn't mean the season wasn't a success. The only thing I care about is a game against Orlando and meeting our expectations of performing better than we did over the course of the season. And if you look at how we played last week, we were quite consistent in how we played, and look at the results we got. So, I'm really proud of the group, and we'll hopefully be able to push this thing across the line the way we want. But the players have been fantastic.
How do you kind of feel about just having so much of a road schedule the rest of the way?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, everyone plays the same amount of games home and away. Ours just happened to be on the road these last stretches. And as you can see, we've been average on the road, but this league is hard to win on the road, So, the only thing that I have an issue with is, after the World Cup break, we flew to Portland, and now after the next international break, we're flying across the country again to Seattle. To me, makes no sense, 0 sense how that happens. I think anytime you have an international break, the game should be more regionalized. But that's how the schedule fell. We have no choice but to go perform, and I'm not looking past Orlando, but that is the only thing that we have to manage, and that's got to be done on our end and how we take care of the players. But home, away, we still have to play, we still have to compete, we still have to do the things that we do really well. And doesn't mean one way or another, home or away, we're going to get the result. We just have to go out and perform the way we do, and hopefully it gets us what we want after 90 minutes.
And then I saw Victoria get a practice today. What have you guys done to kind of just help her through this tough time?
Yeah, we've really just let her be. We helped her in terms of getting back home to Canada to be with her family. I haven't spoken with her at all when she was gone. It wasn't a time for a coach to, that's a family thing, and she knew we were there. I checked on her maybe once when she was gone, but pretty much daily before she left. And then obviously when we won, we were celebrating, and I turned to KP and said, get Vic on FaceTime and let's make sure she's a part of this, just so we can put a smile on her face. But even though she wasn't with us, we knew what she was going through, and we were here for her every step of the way. And I wanted her to have her private time with her family and not worry about football. We're thrilled to have her back and smile on her face. And, hopefully we can help her get through this a little bit more. It's never something you're going to get over, but she knows we have so many people here that are supporting her and want to be there for her. So, it was great to have her back. We feel more complete, but we also know that she's not complete right now. So we know it's going to be a process, and we're here every step of the way as a club.
Please.
Sean, I wanted to ask about your counterpart this weekend, Seth Hines, and kind of your thoughts on how he's approaching the season with Orlando. Obviously, he's come up through the system way somewhat similar to how you've done over the years. So I want to hear your thoughts on kind of how he's approaching it and how they're doing their season so far.
Yeah, I don't know how he's approaching it because I'm not there daily, but he's done a good job with the group. You know, let's be honest, they absolutely retooled that roster. The players that they've brought in, you know, him, Haley, what they've done there has been bringing those players in, changes everything. But you can see he's trying to implement some things, and you can see that they're trying to, you know, just like we've done here. You know, I don't like talking about other clubs because I'm not in the daily grind, and I don't think that's fair because I don't want to misspeak. But if you look at what they've done there, you can see they're trying to implement something, and they've been competitive, and you can see there's a little bit more belief. You know, Emily Madrill's been fantastic, and you know, Martha's playing at a Martha level now, and they bring Rafa in, and Marquette, and Adriana's been brilliant. Joy Doyle stepped up big time. Carrie O'Bell has been fantastic. Messiah Bright's had a great rookie year. So, yeah, I think he's done a good job. I think a lot of credit goes to him because it's not easy, especially with so much turmoil that Orlando's been in over the years. So that's all I can really speak of. I can't speak about the day-to-day stuff just because I'm not there. But yeah, I mean, anyone that looks at it, he's done a good job for sure.
One other question from me, and this may be a little bit unfair to drop on you at this moment, but I'm curious, as you approach the season, you've implemented a style, it seems to be working pretty well. Do you get concerned at a certain point that other teams are going to have so much tape on you that you're going to need to mix some things up and change some things so that you keep it fresh, you keep them guessing so they're not, they don't know exactly what you're about to do?
We're 20 plus games into the season, is your answer. I mean, we do tweak things, but I'm not going to say what we tweak.
Sure.
But the style is a style. I mean, you ask Pep Guardiola, you ask Arteta, you ask all these top-notch coaches, you ask Ten Hag, you ask all these top-notch coaches, they don't tweak, they don't change things. They believe in what they're doing, and the game is about spaces, the game is about how you manipulate those spaces, the game is about what are those spaces, what are you trying to do in those spaces, who are those players in those spaces, and it's something we truly believe in. It's no different than when we were back in 2018-19 when we had the box. Everyone knew what we were going to do. Could they stop it? No. But we're not going to change. We've implemented a style of play that we believe in. Now that we've laid the foundation, now we can go back and look to tweak it. However, we need to tweak it. But if we do things right and we take care of the ball, I mean, we're on average 80+% passing percentage. We're probably averaging over 500 passes a game. It seems pretty consistent to me. But does that mean we're going to abandon ship if something goes? No, it's not what we're going to do because what we're doing is working. But I mean, I think teams have plenty of tape on us now. It's just, we just have to be really good at what we do. And then if someone beats us because they're better at what they do than we are, then you tip your hat to them. That's part of the game. That's part of it. So, I mean, yeah, I don't worry. I don't lose sleep over that stuff. I'm just happy where we're at.
Chris Vizu.
Yeah, hi Sean. We're obviously talking off the back of a trophy win, but in a wider sense, when you're part of a hugely competitive league where only one team wins the championship, the idea of what constitutes success each year is maybe not as black and white as only winning the championship. So with the perspective, I guess, of your experience at this point, what is success for the Courage this season and really any other season in a wider sense?
Yeah, someone posted a picture online after our Challenge Cup final. I think it was a poster that she made and says, "I want to thank everyone who predicted us to be in last place. Love Courage Country." And everyone had zero expectations of our team. Everyone doubted what we were going to do. Everyone said these guys are crazy for who they're trading and players they're losing. And we lost Abinia, and we moved Dion at her request. Let's not forget that. Then we make a trade with Kiwi and Carson. That one was probably the bigger surprise of them all. But I think at the end of the day, look where we're at right now, and that's a credit to the players and their love for each other and the club as a whole, where we've gone from one year to the next and how much more positive of an environment it is. I look at success as I look at success based on what other people are talking about us about. You know, people are talking about us in the way we play football. You know, Total Football Analysis did an article about us after the Challenge Cup. That's never happened. APFC over in Barcelona, they're doing something about how we work, how we utilize positional play, and they're using our stuff as clips. That's never happened before. People are talking about us in a positive light, and that's really important to me. But I also look at the style of football that we've played and what we've implemented, and success to me is not proving people wrong. I've said this before, not proving people wrong, but proving what we've done right. And I think at the end of the day, everyone deserves credit for that. So if we make the playoffs and make a run at it, amazing. But I'm only worried about Orlando. We didn't set out to win Challenge Cup. Our performances got us the cup. That's 2 trophies in 2 years. We have the most trophies in league history. We are starting, we're playing rookies now that are developed. There's so many positive things that you look at, and we've really laid a great foundation, and that is something that we have to be really proud of after this season, regardless of where it ends up.
Yeah, there's always talk about sort of different leagues around the world and the supposed style of play in each of those leagues, but that can change over time. The more that different influences in the game in general affect what different teams and coaches want to do. Are there any sort of general tactical trends you've especially noticed this season in the league as a whole when you're kind of analysing games? How's kind of the NWSL changing really from what it maybe once was?
I still think it's quite transitional. I think teams, you can see there's a little bit more of a focus sometimes on building out of the back. You can see that a little bit more. I still think there's a lot of running in our league, a lot of running, which sometimes you run so much that you're never available. I do see a bright young future of talent, that's for sure, with a mix of the old guard, I guess as you can say. I think the high pressing is still there and the defensive aspects are still there, but I think you're starting to get players in the league now that are just more comfortable on the ball and want to have impactful decisions on the ball, and coaches want the ball more. But you still have that variety of going direct and skipping lines and skipping the midfield, and that's not what we do. But that may be what works best for them, based on their personnel. We can't afford to do that. So there's definitely a variety, whereas maybe in years past it's only been transitional. You can see there's a lot more variety in how teams are trying to play, which I think is a benefit. But I also look at it from a world stage, and you look at the Spains and the Englands and how they play international football, and that's something that is implemented in their style of play, in their culture. Whereas here, it's a lot more based on the transitional aspect, and I think that's something that we have to implement from youth to professional clubs into the national team, where if we can get that, and we have intelligent footballers and we develop intelligent footballers, then I think the talent pool is so large here that it becomes almost unstoppable. But the smaller pools are having success because of their soccer IQ in many aspects. So we have to do a little bit of that as well, and I think that's just understanding that it's okay to develop at the pro level. It's okay to develop at the pro level. It's more than just 1 year, and I think that's something that we've taken a lot of pride in here at the club this year.
Thanks, Sean. Take care.
Thanks.
Any other questions via Zoom? Alrighty, thanks everybody. Sean, appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sean.
Thanks.